Hello, I'm Emma Hammett from First Aid for Life and onlinefirstaid.com. Today I'm going to talk to you about the air pollution within your house. Could your home actually be making you ill? And I'll be explaining what I mean, and also giving you some tips, or 10 top tips, to clean up the air quality in your house and hopefully make you feel better. So we spend about 90% of our time indoors, particularly this time of year. And if you have pre-existing asthma or lung conditions, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease or pneumonia, the air quality within your house can make you very ill. The air quality within your home can also increase your risk of stroke and heart disease. The symptoms of air pollution can be minimal, such as a dry throat, cough, runny nose, bit wheezy, or it can actually be very serious. So if you had low-level carbon monoxide poisoning, for example, you can end up feeling extremely ill. But generally it's sort of flu-like symptoms and just feeling groggy and not very well. Now, part of it is things like drying clothes on radiators, which increases the humidity within your house and can encourage mold to grow. If mold is growing within your home, and you can see it in places like the sill of your washing machine or around taps and things, and in very serious cases you can see it actually in the room. My daughter was looking at potential university accommodation over the weekend, and the basement room that they were looking at was mouldy, which seriously could damage their health. So if you're able to avoid drying clothes within the house, other than using a tumble dryer or whatever, but drying them on radiators, you will prevent the risk of mold. The issue with mold is that you can get something called aspergillosis, which can be very serious, particularly if you've got a pre-existing lung condition, and it can be life-threatening. So can be very ill. And if somebody has asthma, mold spores are very often triggers to asthma. So in terms of drying clothes, a tumble dryer, I know it's not the most economical and not the best for the environment, but actually for your health, if you're unable to dry washing outside, it's a good one. Otherwise, you can actually get heated, the areas that you have inside, you can get those that you can plug in that are heated, and then you can put a canopy over the top of them, and they turn into a cheap airing cupboard. And certainly that's what both my kids have at university to dry their clothes, because otherwise when they came home their tops were all smelling really musty because they weren't able to dry them. So that for us has been a great solution. So mold spores are at their highest in autumn and winter, and so if your house is damp, when you turn the central heating on, it allows them to thrive. So just bear that in mind. Things like scented candles and incense. These give off about 100 times the amount of fine particles, or rather incense sticks give off about 100 times more particles than scented candles, but both of them are introducing things to your air quality that your systems might not like. If you've got a scented candle which has got something called limonene in it, when that burns, it's been shown that it can produce formaldehyde, and formaldehyde is known to be very serious to your health. So do have a look at what is in the candles and things before you're burning them. And if you are, try and ventilate the room. I know we all like the idea of a nice cozy bathroom with some candles around it and things, but think about the long term. That's not necessarily good for your health. House plants such as geraniums and lavender and types of fern do actually remove formaldehyde from the atmosphere. So there's old style bathrooms where you quite often had houseplants and ferns in there, they were onto the right sort of thing. So if you do like the candles, then that is the sort of thing that you can have in your house that can absorb the formaldehyde and neutralise what's going on. Obviously burning wood and coal will also release different elements into your house. And if your flues are blocked at all, or things aren't burning properly, burning fuels, fossil fuels, can release carbon monoxide. So do make sure you've got a properly working carbon monoxide alarm fitted. We've written a whole separate article, and I've done a separate blog on carbon monoxide poisoning, so you can listen to that separately. Dust mites. So asthma's annual survey reports that 64% of asthma is triggered by dust mites, and because of central heating, dust mites multiply in the winter. They're tiny mites that live in cushions and throws and pillows and mattresses and on carpets, and they feed on our dead skin and the dust that accumulates. So keeping your rooms well ventilated reduces the humidity and reduces the number of dust mites. There's various hoovers and things, or not hoovers, that suggest that they are better at removing dust mites than others. And one study showed that using dust mite covers for children on their bedding, sort of in your mattress cover and your pillowcase and things, did reduce the incidence of the children being hospitalised by their asthma. Asthma UK want a bit more research on that, but it sounds like that's quite a sensible way to go. So, top 10 tips to improve the air quality in your home. So, keep all areas as clean and dry as possible, and make sure that you open windows for at least 5 to 10 minutes daily. When showering, make sure you've got your extractor fan on, or open a window, and keep the door shut to limit the spread of damp air once you've finished showering. In humid kitchens and damp bathrooms, keep all surfaces clean, and if you've got areas with any scum or grease on them, mold spores love them. So in the kitchen, keep a particular eye out for mold in the refrigerator drip pans, in the washing machine door seals and in dustbins, and get those cleaned out. When cooking, use the extractor fan, open the window, keep lids on saucepans. You're just trying to keep that humidity down. Wipe down wet window sills to remove condensation, and be aware of around the windows as well. Sometimes that can be a place too where mold can thrive. So make sure you check for any water leaks in bathrooms, kitchens and the hot water tank. Check your flues are working well and get your chimney swept regularly. And obviously get boilers serviced regularly too. And keep the room temperature at home stable. The recommended temperature is 18 degrees, and high humidity and warm moist air just means your mold is very, very happy. And if you have a long-term lung issue, you can get indoor air quality sensors which help you to just modify what's going on. So I hope that's been helpful. That's Emma Hammett from First Aid for Life and onlinefirstaid.com.